We're live! Hello, Dragonlings! I am Sky. Need to mute this. Oh, crap. I don't like how YouTube tab don't let you mute it now before you start watching. There it goes. Okay. Hello, Dragonlings. I am Sky. Welcome to my channel. I write urban fantasy under the name St. Haggis. And today I have Amy with me. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself real quick.
Hello, everybody. I'm Amy Nobody. I'm a longtime friend of Sky's, and I'm working on my first fiction book. And Sky's been walking me through it, so I've been joining her for these live streams for the last couple of months, including the NaNoWriMos. And I don't have any social media to share or any published works to share. I'm a freelance SEO consultant, certified as of last weekend. Woo! And yeah, that's about it. Yeah, I don't have any social media because I don't use it. So yeah.
All right, and we do have one other person who said they were going to join us, but I haven't seen them yet. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and I've already told them they can join whenever they want to. And we'll see if Dana shows up. I know that every once in a while she has trouble with her internet, and that's possibly what's going on right now. I have no idea. But today we're going to be doing 3 15-minute writing sprints. Last week we did tests. We did 2 days where we did 2 20-minute writing sprints and 2 days where we did 3 15-minute writing sprints, and we discovered we got more work done during the 15-minute writing sprints. So for the next 4 days, we're going to be doing 3 15-minute writing sprints starting around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, which is what this live stream is about. It's about getting shit done, basically. Well, that's what I should call these live streams, getting shit done. And excuse me, I have hiccups for some reason. They're very painful. So yeah, go ahead. I am going to be working on the same project I've been working on. I've actually got pages torn out today because I'm getting to the pages that are now coming out. So yeah, I have about this much left. Yay.
That's not bad.
Nah, I got a lot done last night, or yesterday, I should say. I was only up until 3:30 a.m. this morning watching YouTube videos and transcribing shit.
Honestly, I was up last night until about 1 helping one of my clients with their SEO. I know. Ooh. Look at that face. Look at that look on your face. For the audience who doesn't know, I'm in bed at like 7:30, and like 8 o'clock, I'm like seriously considering turning off the lights. And Sky knows this.
I message her all the time, and it really shocks me whenever she replies around 9 o'clock or later. I'm just like, oh, she's still awake. Why is she still awake?
Yep, but then the next day I'll be complaining. I'll be like, oh my God, I was up until like 9:30. And everybody's like, yeah, we know, Amy. But so yeah, I actually stayed up late last night, but I had coffee today, and I also have caffeine sensitivity. So
you're wired.
I'm feeling like I need to apply some brain power to something. So
and I don't drink coffee, for those who are curious. And it may look like I have a beer. To me, this is beer. It is IBC root beer. But, yeah, I discovered like 10 minutes before the stream that the cup of soda my husband had poured and then drank half of, leaving me only half a cup of soda, was the last of our soda. So,
oops. You had to bust into the reserve.
I'm busting into the reward soda.
Oh, yeah, you bought those as a reward when you met your 5,000 words a day goals.
Yeah, and I got to go get soda today so I don't have to drink any more than this one. Ugh. But, yeah. Alrighty, okay. So, let me go ahead and get my timer set up because I don't have that set up.
Oh, that's so yeah, just long. For the record, you are working on a project where you are transcribing by hand some information from an old journal that is falling apart into a new journal that is not falling apart.
Yeah, pretty much. So, this is how much I've written so far.
Nice.
It's all color-coded and pretty, too. I just gotta get my tabs in.
Best.
I gotta get my tabs in. That's the only thing that's bothering me. This one has tabs to separate different things.
Oh.
And oh, these were the tabs I was telling you about, by the way. I'll off camera when we're no longer live. I'll show you those in more detail.
Okay.
Because I can't find them in stores. Actually, that may be a lie. I haven't checked Office Max yet. They may carry them in Office Max.
Yeah, that does seem like the kind of thing Office Max would carry in store.
So, all right. We'll give it another 3 minutes, and we'll go ahead and do our first sprint at 15 after, since we got started late.
Okay.
I don't really have much to talk about. Oh, I have a question for you, though. Question for you. This is a project you've been working on for a while, and I know that your outline is pretty much, we've discussed in the past that your outline is pretty much almost, not quite exactly, a rough draft.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you're actually writing it and doing all that fun stuff. Dana joined us. Hi, Dana.
Hi.
Hello,
Sorry,
Dana.
I got the time zones confused, and so I'm a little late. Sorry.
You're all good. If you want to go ahead, we're actually getting ready to do a writing sprint at 15 after. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself real quick, and then I can ask Amy my question after the writing sprint.
Oh, cool. So, hi, I'm Dana Gollin. I write adult fantasy romance. And yeah, I do YouTube stuff too sometimes. And listen to weird music on Spotify. Hold on, let me make that go away. Okay.
Lately, Dana's been more active than I have. This is the most active I've been in almost 2 months.
Yeah, so here's the truth of the matter. So I launched my new website along with my book on the same day. And so I wanted to pick up my activity. So that way I had to like force myself to make videos and to do a lot of promoting, and it was very awkward. And I noticed that now that I'm kind of in that downward, the excitement is kind of wearing off and everything. I'm like, I got to do a video.
Well, I kind of had to encourage myself to do new videos. I only have a minute to share this story real quick. And Amy's already seen this. I have a new toy that I'm excited to use, but I can't use yet. It's a new video camera.
Oh, awesome.
And I love it. However, I haven't had a chance to use it because I was under the impression it came with an SD card.
Oh.
And it didn't. And then I thought I
Yeah.
had an SD card, so it wasn't a big deal.
Right.
And if I do, I don't know where it is.
Yeah.
So I've had it for like 2 weeks in the box, just sitting there staring at me going, why haven't you used me yet?
Yeah. Yeah. My husband bought me a Nikon, and he was under the impression it came with an SD card. So before the Nikon arrived, I went out and got one because I just knew.
The best I do is I have a box that all of my electronics go into. And if it's electronic, it goes in the box, like headphones, SD cards, all that stuff. So whenever I need something like the SD card, it's always at the bottom because I just throw it in the box. So I'm always like, oh, I have an extra SD card. Oh, no, wait. No, I don't. And one time it drove me crazy because I had paid like $40 and gotten like 128 gigabyte SD card, right? One of the fancy ones. And I threw it in the electronics box because that's my system. It goes in the electronics box. And it had accidentally fallen into right in the corner seam of a headphones box and just wedged itself in there perfectly, where I spent like 30 minutes going through this electric box. Like, I know it's in here. What happened? And then finally, I was furious. And then finally, I just started taking everything apart and it just popped out.
Oh, yeah.
So that's my horror story about SD cards. 30 minutes.
Story of our lives, right?
I have so many electronics boxes. They're all supposed to be in one place, but because we've got so many different types, they can't all fit in one place. So they're in everywhere.
Yep.
Someday we'll have a system. Maybe.
Eventually.
Maybe. All right. It is 1:16 my time, actually. So we're going to go ahead and do this writing sprint. 15 minutes. If you two are ready.
Yep.
Yes. There's my paper.
You didn't sound so sure there for a second.
Oh, no, I wasn't.
All right, Dana, you ready?
Yep. I'm ready.
All right, we'll start now. All right, that is time. I did not do as well as I wanted to, but I was doing several other things in the background.
Yeah. My daughter decided she was going to get out of bed. So she's been struck with like some kind of virus. So she had to stay home from school.
That's a bummer.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like having Scarlett O'Hare right here in my home.
Okay, I'm gonna have to bust out my calculator because I just don't feel like using the left side of my brain.
I wrote a page. I know I can do better.
Yeah, I fixed a paragraph. I totally forgot to write down where I started. So I'll do that next sprint.
Okay.
Yeah, but I fixed a paragraph and I added a paragraph. So I think I'm doing pretty good.
And what are you working on today?
So today I'm I think it was you who suggested like working out of order because I was getting stuck. And so I actually have all three of my Word documents open. And I'm kind of doing that. I'm working out of order in order to progress in my story. And right now I'm working on the second installment of The Awakening. And I thought it would be neat because at the end of the story, my main character finds out a big secret. And so she is trying now at the beginning of the second book, she's trying to come to terms with this big secret. And she's not very happy. So she calls the big secret all kinds of things from parasite to melon to yeah. And the way that I wrote it, she is doing this. I mean, she is loving this big secret, but at the same time she's resenting it. And so it's been fun kind of coming up with all of these ways that she can lovingly insult what is going on inside of her. So the big secret it could be anything. so yes, that's what I'm working on. What are you guys working on?
I'm working on my transcription still. Same thing I've been working on.
Right on.
Hopefully I'll finish it this week. Oh,
Wait, you're going to do a rapid release, right? So you're going to have like boom, 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 one right after the next, right?
When I finish those, but that's not what I'm working on.
Oh, which
this is personal project that's not going to be published ever.
Oh, okay. Well, that's. I mean, it's if it's. I know. Now I'm like, what is it? Is it just like a therapeutic personal project or? Yeah. Right on. Well, that's cool because you have to have a good way of getting everything out so that you can be more productive, I think.
Sorry, I just got distracted and I was helping. Yeah, I think Sky's just taking a breather. I think she got herself all revved up for that rapid release and then
procrastination at its finest.
hit a little bit of a snag, and now this personal project is suddenly really interesting because it's really not
shiny.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Legit all it is.
But you have to, at the same time, I think you have to do that sometimes. Like I know when I was writing The Awakening, I got really excited about it really quickly. And then something happened and I needed to take a step back. So it's life. It's life.
I find I have to take a break every once in a while to let my thoughts sort themselves out in the back of my mind. Like sometimes I swear it feels like all the wheels in the back of my mind are just spinning, and I kind of lose control of them and I have to take a break or change my attention to something else and stop focusing on whatever it is that was taking up all of my mind and just let it settle down in the back.
Yeah.
It's, you know, in creative and whenever I'm dealing with like stressful things in life.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a skill that I'm trying to get better at. Instead of taking 2 weeks to do it, if I could just take 2 days, that would be great.
Right. Yeah, but sometimes you can't rush, you know, personal health, and, you know, like, as much as we would love to just be able to do that. I know for me, like, there are, for me, especially after I injured myself, before my injury, I was go, go, go. I was on the mountain. I was always hiking. I was always doing stuff with my kids. And so it's been really hard. And it really has just sucked. And I thought, okay, 6 months, and I'm going to be back in the gym. I'm back on the mountain and back. And I still can't even wear my shoes. So you can't rush it. You just have to let it, whether it's a physical or mental or whatever, you just got to take your time. All the pieces will fall into place and you'll be back on track. And since I don't know what it is, I just have to kind of vaguely put things together. So yeah. So don't worry about tomorrow, because today has enough of its own problems. Take your time.
Yeah. I think in my case, it's more the fact that I'm not even stuck or anything. It's just that it was literally ooh, shiny, this needs to get done. Let me go ahead and work on this. And now I'm like, I could just work on this for the rest of the month and get it done and start fresh on the other project on March.
Right.
Because it's not that I don't have ideas. It's just that I'm just not working on it.
Right. Okay.
And then there's the fact that I'm like, I'm scared to do what I did with the first book. The first book was supposed to be written in October.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a third of the way done with it, scrapped the entire thing and rewrote it, got halfway done, scrapped the entire thing and wrote it a third time. And it was the third time that I wrote it that I actually finished it. And I'm trying not to do that with this one. I'm like 3/4 of the way done with the second one. And I haven't done that yet. But I'm also to that point where I'm like, oh, this is shit. And I know myself well enough. I know I'm going to do it. So I'm like, no, let me just work on something else.
Right.
Leave it alone.
Let the stink dissipate a little bit so
Yeah.
that you can get a clear shot.
Yeah.
Oh, how funny.
I've been trying to, like, these write-ins have been actually really helping me get my brain back in the, you know, fiction writing mindset, because I just spent most of February and part of January taking my last course to get my certification, and it was the only thing that I did for 5 weeks. I did nothing but that, and it's actually kind of a relief to be able to think about this fiction project. But I find that I actually have to review my notes more, because it's been weeks since I looked at them, and like refresh myself. It's making my writing go a little bit slower, I think, than it was before I had to take that hiatus from fiction writing and just work on the educational stuff.
Yeah. Have you ever written something down, and then when you're looking through your notes, you look at it and you just are like, what was I thinking?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to make sure I'm not the only one.
I'm one of those people that'll wake up in the middle of the night and write something down, go back to sleep, and then in the morning I look at it going, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yep.
Sleepy Sky, what the world?
Oh, yeah. I have done that so many times, but I love it. I love having those little note trails to figure out. It's like a mystery.
Good morning, Tamara. It's actually morning where you are.
Yes, like the middle of the afternoon for us.
Let's see. She's 5 or 6 hours behind, so it is like 10 a.m. there, 9, something like that. No, it's like 8. 7 or 8. Oh well. All right, you guys ready to do another writing sprint?
Yes.
Yeah, my phone has like been screaming at me.
Oh, that's right, because you have
I have
that productivity app.
Yes, and I've been promoted to a recovering slacker.
You're a recovering slacker?
Yeah.
I downloaded it yesterday, but I haven't started using it. I'm kind of scared too because I don't want to be called a reluctant slacker.
Right. Well, but that's the best thing I think for me is it insults me to the point where I'm just like, I'm like, oh, okay, you know what? Screw you. You're not going to insult me. Stop yelling at me. Let's do some work.
All right, let's do a quick writing sprint. Hi, Nicole. Welcome. We're actually getting ready to do a 15-minute writing sprint. If you ladies are ready, we'll start the timer now.
Okay.
Time's up. Is that your app going off telling you time was up too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like you can choose the different sounds you use for the timer. And so I put that little chime because I was like, I have so many ugly alarms that are constantly yelling at me. I'm going to pick something a little bit less aggressive. So it insults me, and then it has this beautiful music letting me know that I can stop working for 5 minutes.
I've been considering changing most of my notification sounds because just the other weekend, for the second time, I was standing in line at the store and I heard the little messenger ping. And I was one of like 5 people who reached into my pocket to get my phone because none of us, we were so close together, none of us could tell who it was that actually pinged.
Oh
and that's the second time that I've seen that happen to me. Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? I feel like I need to break out of the crowd, like I'm going to set my Facebook is going to be like popcorn popping or something like that. Like, yeah, I got to change it so that I can not be one of those people who out of reflex reaches into my pocket every time I hear a ping.
Oh yeah. So, that's how my daughter, she has like very unique sounds for each one. She's got one for me, she's got one for her brothers, and it's all different.
I've been meaning to do that for a while.
Yeah. And then I actually ended up turning off the sounds to all my notifications because
it was the same thing.
Well, it was like it was just getting it was getting nerve-wracking, and I felt like I just felt like my privacy was invaded. I would be in the middle of doing something and all of a sudden my alarm would go off because someone on Facebook posted something about something they're angry about. So I was like, you know what? I have to get rid of the negative energy. So, and then my husband's always like, oh, someone's texting you. And I'm like, no, it's the news.
I'm to change the Google application sound because you get that when you get like an email, because for some reason my phone has that set also to be like just any general phone notification. So like if my battery reaches down to 15% where it's going to kick on power saver mode, it gives me that same sound. And it didn't bother me too much at first until I was anxiously awaiting an email that I knew was going to come through on Gmail. Mm-hmm. And then for some reason, it just lit up my phone like 4 times in one day. And it was never the email that I was like, every time my phone went off, checking it really quickly to see if I got it or not. Yeah. And it was so frustrating. So frustrating.
Oh, yeah.
You're triggered every time. You are triggered by that sound. I've got half of my things don't even give me notifications. I only left the ones on where somebody can actually be speaking directly to me and expecting an answer. Mm-hmm. I turned off all the notifications for, like, I have 2 games on my phone, that kind of stuff. And that helps a lot. But I don't know if I can go cold turkey like you ladies and not have any notification sounds whatsoever. I would be so paranoid checking my phone all the time.
Oh, I thought the same thing, but I'll tell you, within like the first couple of hours, I could actually feel my anxiety levels decreasing, not having that constant like chime. Yeah. And now I've gotten to the point where I'm like, you know what? The world's not going to end if I don't see that someone else hates the current administration. I'm like,
yeah,
yay! I've broken free.
And then there's me. I only have my phone on vibrate. Like I don't even know what my notifications are anymore. I don't know what sounds they make because I have my phone on vibrate all the time.
Yeah.
Like I think I've had in the past year alone, I think I've had my phone on sound maker 3 times, and 2 of those times were on accident.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The only thing that has sound to it is like phone calls. Because if someone is seriously needing to get a hold of me, they'll call me. Yeah. That's what they did for hundreds of years. They sent messages. or phone calls.
So how did we all do? I heard your notification. I know that means we should start another sprint soon. How did we all do this time?
I got 165 words.
Nice.
I wrote
Are you
1 page. Again.
That's better than no pages. I did okay. I got 419 this time and 389 last time. So my productivity went up a little bit, but I'm having a conversation that I'm not exactly sure how I want it to go. So it's just making me go slower.
Yeah.
What were you going to ask me, Sky, about my rough draft, or do you want to wait until after the sprint?
I'll wait until after the sprint because
Okay.
now I gotta remember how I was gonna word it so that it came out right.
Okay.
I can't remember how I was gonna word it.
Oh, Sarah is a fan of memes. I love Sarah's memes.
Amy is too.
Oh, yeah. I have a folder of like 86 meme pictures that I actually saved to my phone so that I can respond with the exact meme that I want when I want it. I love them.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Nicole was yelling at the dog and changing diapers and doing dishes.
She was doing all the things. I noticed that.
I know. I'm like, man, Nicole, my thoughts are with you. I don't miss those days. No more dirty diapers for this mama.
Okay, I'm ready when you ladies are.
All right.
All
I'm
right.
ready. I'll go ahead and start the timer now.
See, now I'm checking my phone because that might be an important email.
It's not.
Yeah, I know, right?
Gira. Yeah, not stupid. All right, that is time.
Okay.
Got just under 2 pages this time.
Nice.
I need to do some mathing. It's still too early for that.
I'm very proud of the almost 2 pages, considering the fact that I had to get up and go get Bagheera off the counter.
Yeah, you must have been zooming.
He was attacking food.
Uh-oh.
And now
I got 231 this time.
231?
Yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome.
He's attacking your keyboard?
No, he's laying on my keyboard now.
Oh.
So I couldn't type if I wanted to, so it's all good.
Yeah. That's how Shira. So my daughter was with my mom for the last 4 days, and so Shira's been hanging out in between my room and my daughter's room, because she's still a little skittish because she's a kitten, and so she hasn't explored the entirety of the house. And she found my laptop yesterday, and I was just like, "No, cat, you can't. No, this isn't." Stop eating the cords. I was really worried she was gonna like bite down on the electric cord and shock herself, but she didn't.
How'd you do, Amy?
I managed 414 words, so about the same as I did the last sprint.
That's good.
That's really good.
We're on a roll, ladies.
Mm-hmm.
We are. I'm telling you, I'm sold on the 3 15-minute sprints. I really feel like those 20-minute sprints I feel like my brain knows I have more time, and so therefore slacks off. Whereas with the 15-minute ones, I have this thought in the back of my head, like, I better spit this out before I have to stop. I think it personally motivates me to go a little bit faster.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Bagheera, leave them alone.
And I find my productivity also very much depends on how well thought out the scene is. Like this particular one, I didn't go nearly as fast as I did on Friday because I'm at a point where I'm having a conversation that I'm not even really sure how I want it to go. And despite my notes and my pre-planning, I still just kind of like stumbled my way through it. And I'm like, at least it's over and I can keep going.
There you go.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and you can always, like, when I get stuck in situations like that, where especially if it's a conversation, I always have to remind myself that I can always go back and fix it. You know, this isn't the final. It's not like you're going to publish your first go around. You know what I mean?
I'm still learning that. I'm still used to like expository writing, you know, where it's mostly factual. And if I don't spit it out right the first time, then I'm going to mess up something after it. Whereas with fiction, you know, you get to make it up as you go. So my brain is still learning that. I'm still learning. It's okay to just spit it out, to get it out, and then come back and fix it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm a newbie. I'm a noob. It shows.
Noob.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we're all newbies at one point in time, right?
Yeah.
I still consider myself a newbie because there's so much that I don't know. And so I'm like I learn new things all the time. Especially when it comes to like writing and stuff. There's always something new to discover out there. So
there is.
Yeah. And this is my first rough draft of anything ever. Like, I keep saying it's my first fiction project, but I realized a couple of weeks ago that I actually have 6 completed screenplays. But writing a screenplay is so different than writing a book that, to me, this is like its own beast. And it really is. And I'm still learning how to handle this one. So I feel all new, all again.
Yeah.
Like I'm still, you know, plotting and pacing and all that kind of stuff. And I call it purple prose. And I got that from the writing community. That's not anything special, I know. But that's new to me also. You know, most of my freelance writing in the past has been predominantly information.
Right.
So there's not too much description or just, you know, there's especially no teasing the audience. You know, there's no foreshadowing or anything like that in expository writing. So I find myself like getting totally worked up and excited about a little detail. I'm like, that's not going to make any sense to them for another 200 pages.
Right.
And that's an exciting thing for me, that I love that I do it, but I have no idea if I'm doing it right yet, because this is my very first rough draft. First is first of anything ever. So it definitely makes me feel like a noob. You know, I've been writing for like 25 years now, but this is the first time I've ever committed to writing fiction ever. So it's a learning process, and it reminds me that I don't know everything every time I sit down and try to do it.
Did you say purple prose?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because I haven't heard that before.
I got it from some writing book, like Stephen King's On Writing or something like that. It's one of the big ones, because I've only ever really read like the mainstream writing books.
Right.
So I got it from something like that. It might be that screenplay book by Sid Field, now that I'm thinking about it. But that's what they call it when your descriptions have a lot of flourish, a lot of adjectives. You know, you don't just say there's a bed in the corner. You say it's a, antique four-poster, and you could feel the age in the sheets. You know, when you get more descriptive and basically create a lot more imagery, that's what they call purple prose.
Tamara actually posted that in the comments section. She said purple prose means overly flowery descriptions in writing.
Yeah.
And I know that when I was in English, one of my teachers was like, do not put a lot of purple prose.
See, to me, I didn't know when I learned purple prose, I didn't know that it was meant to be overly descriptive. Like if you're adding too much description, it becomes purple prose.
Yeah.
I learned it as purple prose was just a detailed description, and the alternative was just very basic. And I thought purple prose just meant being extra descriptive, not to the point of it being too much. So, I've heard different people say different things, but for the most part, people seem to agree with Tamara. I think that's the name that you. I'm sorry if I got it wrong, but that purple prose usually means too much.
Yeah. Is there really such thing as too much? I mean, come on.
Sometimes I think
the
same thing. Sometimes I'm like, oh no, but I don't know.
Too much, I find myself skimming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never find myself skimming, but I do find myself getting distracted as to wondering why this is relevant. Like if you're putting this much effort into this, I need to remember it because it's going to be important later. And I don't skim, but my mind does start to wander, and I'll actually less efficiently read because I'm wondering more about what I'm reading instead of following it, if that makes sense.
Tamara said it's Tamara like Panera.
Okay, got it.
All right, let me read through the comments real quick and see what everyone else did. Nicole said she accomplished getting toddler down for quiet time and cleaned up from lunch. Now for coffee refill. Mommy needs more caffeine. I need more caffeine too. I'm sitting here drinking this root beer, and I'm pretending there's caffeine in it when it says in big letters on the back, caffeine free.
Oh, I thought you were being a rebel and having like beer for breakfast.
I mean, I can totally do that too, but I don't drink usually.
We're going to be day writing. We're going to be day drinking.
That's right.
I mean, when I was on third shift, there was no such thing as too early in the morning. I was like, what do you mean I can't drink before 10 o'clock as I'm drinking a glass of wine? I was like, I just got off work. I deserve this wine.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I discovered 10 minutes before the stream went live that I have no more Pepsi in the house. So I grabbed one of my root beers.
Oh, wow. I have like, I have a storage of 2-liter bottles, and
I usually does too.
Yeah,
usually we do too.
Yeah, so I like to use the aluminum cans because my son recycles them. But if for any reason I can't get to the store and I'm out of the aluminum cans, I go to the 2-liter storage room. And I'm like, so whenever there's a 2-liter open in my house, everybody knows, okay, Mom didn't want to go to the store.
We buy 2 liters almost exclusively. I love the taste of the aluminum can, but not everybody else does.
Yeah,
And,
I hate that taste. So I
I
prefer the 2
love
liters.
it.
Yeah.
But we never buy more than like 3 at a time, and that'll last us like 2 weeks because we don't drink a lot of soda. I especially don't because I have a caffeine sensitivity.
Yeah.
But Sky has a pantry, and we actually live near each other. We figured this out just a couple of months ago. But she opened her pantry, and at the top of her pantry, she has a shelf devoted just to the Pepsi. She'll buy them in bulk when they're on sale. That way she gets ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
And she opened once like 2 weeks ago, and there was, no joke, like 16 2 liters up at the top of the pantry. And I was like, did you buy a pallet? Like, where did you get that much soda at one time? She's like, no, I buy them, when they're on sale, like 6 at a time, and then put them in the shelf, and then I get to them when I get to them.
Usually I buy them when they're like when every once in a while the Walmart near us put them on sale for like $1 a piece.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I have to buy a 20-ounce bottle for $1.50, and then I can get a 2 liter for $1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, does it sell?
Yeah, the 99-cent store here, it's right down the road. And so I was excited when I found out that they carry Mountain Dew, like Pepsi, Diet Pepsi, Mountain Dew. And because my boys, so one of my sons has really bad migraines. And so he drinks, am I frozen?
You're working for me?
Oh, okay. I'm like, oh no. So, so he drinks a lot of Mountain Dew. And when I was buying like the 12-pack cans for like $3 a 12-pack, and that would last him a week maybe. And then I found out the 99-cent store carries the 2-liter bottles, and sometimes they have them on sale for $1. And I'm like, I'm the same way. I'm like, just put them in the back room, stack them. I don't care what you got to do, but if you can find them for cheap, find them for cheap. But now the doctor's like, okay, do the Diet Mountain Dew. And of course, they don't have Diet Mountain Dew. So he started taking this like preventative, which I don't know. I don't know what's worse. Like, give him the Mountain Dew, give him the preventative pill, whatever. It's all gonna.
Also, I had bad
when I was growing up, and I didn't outgrow them, but I used to get them like every 3rd or 4th day for like until I was like 13, and that was kind of how I figured out I had a caffeine sensitivity, but it didn't make it go away. I think it was potassium actually, because chocolate would actually give me migraines instead of helping with it. And then pickles and bananas would also set me off.
Yeah.
Like I grew out of that though. They don't bother me anymore.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Maybe he was having like a magnesium or a potassium deficiency, but they can't figure out what's going on. And she said that's what that everybody keeps telling me. They're like, nobody understands why migraines happen. They just suck. So, but my sister, when she was a kid, especially during like adolescence, she would get crippling migraines, and she would literally be in bed for like days with these migraines. So
my sister was the same way.
Yeah, I'm blessed that my kids don't have those kind of migraines. So if I gotta feed him a little bit of Mountain Dew every day to keep him from getting those, I'm cool with it. And thank God for the
migraine monster with Mountain Dew.
Yeah. Yep. And thank God for the 99-cent store.
Oh yeah.
My sister had to get on a prescription medication in order to get rid of her migraines because nothing was taking care of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. That's what he's an interesting child. He's 6'5" and he's like 300 pounds and he's 17. Yeah. So he's a big boy. And the doctor was like, she was like, hey, he doesn't have any heart problems, but let's try this blood pressure medication. And so he started taking that. and it regulated his blood pressure. And then she was like, okay, let's try this other medication. And so she's actually using like, it's almost like it's like a medication for people who have insomnia. But she said that studies have shown that it actually helps to prevent migraines as well. So he gets to sleep at night and he doesn't get the migraines. And I was like, that's like a win-win. Well, yeah, let's go ahead. And so far it's really helped him out a lot. So, and he's actually decreased the amount of soda that he's been drinking. So it's a win. It's
Progress.
a win. Oh yeah.
We used to go through, I think we used to go through 10 to 12 bottles a week. So we have cut back because now we're only going through 7 or 8 a week.
Mm-hmm.
And we're only going through so much now because I'm home all the time and drinking soda all day long. Because we had cut back a lot further than that.
Yeah. So, okay, so I'm reading through your comments, and I was curious, is there a certain genre where more description is important versus less description?
I don't know about genre. In my experience, it seems to be more about writing styles. Like there are some people whose writing style, I don't even notice that they have too much description. But then there are others where they don't use a lot of description, and then when they slip up and they do, it feels out of place.
Okay.
So I don't know about genres, but in my experience, I've definitely noticed some annoyingly over descriptive parts of a story only when I realized that it didn't even sound like the author at that point.
Right,
Yeah.
Like
right.
they flipped up, like that whole kill your darlings thing. Like they loved that scene being that descriptive or whatever. And so they left that in there because they loved it. But when you go through and read it, it stands out like a sore thumb.
Right. Okay.
As far as genres go, I would think that for some things, you probably need more description in, say, fantasy than contemporary. Because I know what a toaster is. You don't have to describe a toaster to me. But if there's some kind of machine that does something similar to a toaster, you might want to describe it without using the word toaster in a fantasy world because you don't have a toaster in fantasy, kind of possibly.
Okay.
So I think it's used more in fantasy than some other genres, or even sci-fi than other genres. But otherwise, I don't see. I'm kind of with Amy on that. I don't see it a lot with various genres, but there does come a point in some books where you can tell, like it crosses that line between too much and just enough.
I get irritated in retrospect when that happens because, like I said, like I fixate on it because I'm like, oh, this is important. Look at all of this effort they're putting into describing this door frame. So, like, is there a clue on the door frame, or something? And then we'll get to the end of the book. And I'll be waiting for that door frame, waiting for it, nothing. And then I get to the end of the book and I'm like, damn it.
That door frame wasn't important.
Right. Nothing. You tricked me.
Right.
I feel tricked when that happens. Like, I like to figure out things. I always feel good when I figure it out in the beginning. Like the first time I see a clue, I'm like, oh, that's what that is.
She loves spoilers.
Yeah, I do. I love spoilers. I'm pretty good at it. So whenever I get to the end of a book and something that I was like, oh, that's a spoiler, turns out to be nothing, I feel jilted. I'm like, I got myself all revved up and I was totally wrong, but I'm still blaming you for it because
right. Yeah, because Nicole was saying that she's a skimmer.
Yeah.
So I guess too much description like trips the skimmers up.
Yeah. And it does vary from book to book because there are times like, all right, a good example would actually be Tolkien. I did not skim on Tolkien, but he has very, very long descriptive paragraphs of everything, whether it's the lay of the land or the family lineage in his books.
Yeah.
but it's done in a way that I never found myself skimming it. Whereas there's some other authors where the description might be shorter and I'm still skimming it because it's written in a way it doesn't feel important. It just feels like it was there to fluff up the book and make it larger.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It's something I try to be really aware of in my own writing because I don't want to do that.
Right.
If I take the time for it to be descriptive, I want it to also be significant but read well like Tolkien's does.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. You can find a perfect example right there at the beginning of The Hobbit when he describes the Hobbit house. He spends like 3 pages.
I was going to say, at least 3 pages long describing this house.
Right? It's almost 3 pages long, but it feels so important. And then you come to find out, well, you know, he's just setting the scene. He didn't really need it for 3 pages, but I still enjoy the 3 pages.
It's a house.
Right?
Built into the side of the hill.
Pretty much.
Yeah. No, I think and I think that I can honestly say that there are parts where I'm writing where it's not important what it is that I'm describing, but it's like the emotions. Like, I guess for me, when I write, I just want my readers to feel the emotions that my characters are experiencing while they're doing this. And I guess that's why I'm very curious about this purple
Prose.
Yeah. I'm like, oh man, I even wrote it down and now I can't remember. I know, because I do. And I wonder if maybe that's what Tolkien was doing as well, was he was being so descriptive because he wanted his readers to be emotionally involved. You know, because really Bilbo and the other guy, Frodo, they love that house. So maybe he wanted you guys to love it as much as those characters love that house.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Love the house because I want one.
Right? I know, because there's like a huge craze for Hobbit houses, and I could not live in a Hobbit house. I mean, I have a cave troll, so he wouldn't fit the little Hobbit house.
Speaking of description, though, another really good example of the purple prose thing is Douglas Adams. Some of his purple prose in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and all that stuff is phenomenal, but it is so much fun that even when he just goes overboard with it, you still enjoy it, even though he really does, you know, every once in a while
go a little over the top a lot of the times.
I can't remember which book it is, but it's not the first one. It's not Hitchhikers. It's either the second or the third one. But when he ends the book before it, so I'm thinking the third one, when he ends the book before it, when he ends book 2, I think it is, he's almost about to blow up the ship. And then when he comes back in book 3, he spends like 5 pages just teasing you, saying, well, this catastrophe could have happened, but it didn't. And then it could have happened like that, but it didn't. And I know you're thinking that this catastrophe could have happened, but that didn't happen either. And it drove me insane. I wanted to skim so bad, but I couldn't do it because I was riveted. And I still to this day remember it in horror, reading through it in agony because it was torturously fun. And he was doing basically purple prose there, you know, like really over describing what could have been happening because he knows your mind is racing and he's just riding the wave.
Yeah.
And I really resent his brilliance for having done that because I felt like
we tricked you.
Oh, you know, I felt used, but I loved it because it was so good and it was so exciting.
Yeah, but I was wondering if maybe the author was on some kind of like drug-induced hallucinogen. You know, it was.
I read somewhere one time. I've got the massive book where they put all the books into one big book. This book is like 8 inches thick. Yeah, it's huge.
Oh wow.
And one of them is one where it's like it's not a memoirs, and it's kind of like a biology type thing where people talked about him and put it in there. And I can't remember if he was on anything at the time, but I do know that the actual like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy that we know and we're like, oh my God, this is amazing. actually took like 22 years to finally come into that format. It started out as like a radio show.
It was a radio show.
And, you know, it took a long time before he got to that book. So he had a long time for his brain to just swirl.
Oh, wow.
And came up with some weird stuff.
Yeah. That is great. That is nuts. Oh, wow.
All right.
I think your 1 hour time thing got a little lost in the fray there,
Yeah.
Sky.
It went out the window today.
But
that's okay because I've been having fun with this conversation. It's been a fun conversation.
And
it's
you
always
still
fun when
haven't
you
asked the question.
Oh, my question
yeah.
for Amy was going to be whether or not you had any idea of how much longer you'll be working, like where in the story you are. Since you are a heavy plotter, I was curious if you had a guesstimate of how much more you had to go before you finished the first draft.
Oh, I'd like to think that I do, but I don't think that I do. Because as much as I heavily plotted, I had no idea, because I've never written this type of fiction work before. So what I thought was a very detailed outline for me, considering, you know, how my brain works and everything. And I've showed it to you so you can verify that it is super detailed for an outline.
More detailed than anything I've ever seen.
Yeah, it almost is a legit rough draft. But as I'm writing this, I'm finding that I have more to say to make those points than I expected. So it's going very slow.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it's going very slow because it's hard for my brain to formulate it and all that. And like I said, I've just got a lot to say. Like, you know, what was a 1-point bullet with like maybe 2 lines of detail underneath it turns out to be like a whole page in my document of something that happened. Yeah. And I don't know if I'm overwriting because it doesn't feel like I am. I put a lot of effort into my outline of making sure that I don't repeat stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know, that I don't repeat, you know, like settings or destinations or anything like that. So I don't feel like I've made the mistake of just kind of like wandering around within my own story, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And, but it's turning out to be way longer than I ever anticipated. And this is my bad draft. So I don't know if my next one will be longer, or if once I get all of this out of my brain next time I read it, I'll actually be able to shorten it. Because I went from a sentence to a scene, and now I know what happens in that scene. Maybe I can make it just down into a paragraph.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm hoping for. But no, I can't even guesstimate because I have 47 scenes. And I was supposed to finish it for NaNoWriMo. And I have managed to make it all the way up to 31 out of 47 now. I have not been making very much progress with this at all since like November. So, yeah, no, I don't know. I'm trying to let myself off the hook because I'm trying to get all of my SEO stuff in line so that I can start taking on new clients. And I'm kind of just trying not to think about it. You asked me a very loaded question.
I did.
Don't know. I try not to think about that, actually.
Okay.
So now I'm not going to be able to stop thinking about it until I have an answer for you. But I can't scramble to make one up right now.
Oh wow! So is each? How do you break up? So you have 47 scenes.
Like in 7 chapters.
And okay.
Yeah, my story takes place over 7 days, so I just chose to make 7 chapters. And then my 47 scenes are, my 2 main characters are separated. So it's, you know, this happening over here in these settings and this happening over there in those settings, and it all equals up to 47 scenes.
Oh, right on. Okay.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
That's how I chose to break it down. And I don't know if, like, when I put it in the book, if I'm going to have each scene numbered or whatever. Like, I haven't really thought that far ahead. I just know that as I was piecing together all of these things and realizing, okay, well, this scene needs to have, you know, the XYZ confrontation, but I need that to happen after the ABC conversation. And, you know, my brain kind of grouped them as scenes what felt like to me. So I just went with it.
Yeah.
And it seems to be doing okay. I make decent progress because, like I said, I've got so much detail. I know what's going to happen in the scene. And I contribute all of that to the fact that it took me like 2 years just to write the outline. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's really detailed. There's a lot in it.
She has a notebook about this thick through full of pages that are handwritten with her notes for her outline.
All of the notes that took me about 2 years to make fill up almost a 2-inch binder. Yeah. And when I wrote my scenes, they're all written on an individual page in a spiral bound notebook. So even if it's a short little scene, like I have a scene where 2 characters don't know that they know each other and they bump into each other at like a coffee house or something. And that whole scene is literally, it takes up like only 4 lines handwritten out on the page, where I basically just say like these people recognize each other and they just can't figure out how they know each other. And that's a whole scene. But then some of them are written out, and like my confrontations or my battle scenes are like 3 whole front sides of pages. That's another thing that I picked up that really works for me, is I only write on the front side of a page. Mm-hmm. That way, if I'm reading and I ever come up with an idea and I know exactly where to put it, I just flip over to the back side of the page and draw a little arrow to it and write that in the exact spot.
Right.
So,
so you're
turned out to be kind of long.
So your entire story takes place in a span of 7 days.
Yes.
And wow. So like now you have to finish writing this book, because I'm like, wait a minute, your entire story takes place in 7 days. But you have a 3-ring binder, a 2-inch thick 3-ring binder of notes.
And there's they're not all like one sequence of notes. Like that's all the notes that I wrote for 2 years. So like the first stack is just my first ideas, and the second stack is my second ideas. They just happen to all be in one notebook. So it's not like one whole 2-inch notebook of just one version of my notes. It's everything.
Every idea that's ever come to her about this, whether she's using it or not.
Right. Yeah. So then you've taken 2 years to outline it, and now you're in the writing process, and there's battle scenes in there. I'm like, okay, so just hurry up and finish.
That's what everybody says. That's what everybody says. They're like, just hurry up so I can read it. And I'm like, I'm trying.
Well,
the pressure.
My interest is spiked. And let me tell you, I am not one of those people who like reads everything that everyone. So I've got a friend, and she reads and reads and reads and reads. And every time she comes across something, she'll be like, this is a fantastic book. And I'm like, okay, I'll check it out. And if I pick up a book and I read it from cover to cover without wanting to burn it in the fireplace, it has to be an incredibly good book. And just on the description that you're providing, I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to read this, because my curiosity is spiked. I am like at level 10 curiosity.
Well, thank you. I mean, I feel really pressured now, but
hey, there's nothing wrong with a little positive pressure.
Okay. Yeah, it helps. Honestly, I mean, I've told this to Sky without sounding too mushy. Like, the fact that Sky is so focused and she's always constantly making progress on her project.
Not focused right now. Not at all.
She'll be like, oh, hey, I wrote 15,000 words this weekend. And I'm like, oh, God. And I feel like I have to do something so that I can be like, hey, I did this part.
Yeah.
Like, Sky kind of without doing it on purpose at all. Like, I don't know if I've even spelled it out to her like this, and she knows that this is what she does for me. But like, she's like, oh, hey, I did this. And I'm like, well, I want to reciprocate that and be like, hey, look, I did something too. Right. She's been keeping me on track.
Mm-hmm. But that's
it's really nice. I'm kind of like following behind her, but I feel like I have an example to follow, and that helps me, because I do have a tendency to just kind of like, crumple like tinfoil under pressure.
Yeah. Well, and I've noticed that since joining these write-ins and having other authors to help me be accountable, for things has helped me to be more productive. And yes, Tamara is absolutely right. Having writer friends is the best kind of peer pressure.
Yes.
That
Yes.
and having the app tell you what a slacker you are.
I'm not a slacker, I promise. I'm getting stuff done. Dang it.
Oh, I know. I know.
I don't know
You
if I
know,
could have an app that does that. I tend to break my phone. Like, I don't have a nice phone. I have one of those $40 prepay phones from Walmart because I break them on the regular. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
live out in the country. I've dropped them in streams. I've dropped them on gravel roads. I straight up lost a phone. I don't even know when it fell out of my pocket. Like, you know, I've dropped them in the lake. Like, my phone just has a tendency to, you know,
Poof,
die every so often. And so whenever my phone starts misbehaving, you know, like it'll just be some system glitches or something like that. Like a system update, and you know, it's not anything about my phone. It's just the system takes 2 or 3 days to work out the bugs. I'll start talking shit to it. I'm like, keep it up. Keep it up. And you're gonna fall right down the porch steps like the last one did. So I go threaten my phone. So, you know, when I hear you guys talking about the phone talking smack, you know, like even though it's just the app,
Yeah.
I'm really like giving my phone dirty looks. Like, yeah, don't get any ideas. It's not gonna happen.
Oh, yeah. Well, I did a little test when I first got it, because it started like insulting me. And so I actually was like, as I was doing my everyday chores, I would start a work session and, you know, doing the dishes, start a work session until I was done. And it's still, no matter how much I did, cleaning the house, doing laundry, all that stuff throughout one day, it was still like slacker. And I just, at the end of the day, like my husband kept asking me, he's like, "Are you all right?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And I would just like roll my eyes at the phone or give it a dirty look or whatever. And finally, at the end of the day, I was like, "I'm just not good enough." And he's all, "What is
The
wrong?"
hatred builds.
Yeah. And he's like, what is wrong with you? And I was like, all the things I did today, and this stupid app still says I'm a slacker. Oh, I was so mad.
Turn that bad boy off. You guys are talking about turning off the notifications so that you don't have to be, you know, constantly reminded about things you either don't care about or don't really want to know about. Anyway,
Yeah.
I can go with that. But what you're talking about right there, the phone talking smack.
Yeah.
Travel, mister, if you keep it up.
Oh yeah. But it's funny. I mean, it's funny because no one else in my life has the cojones to tell me that I'm a slacker, because I'm like, I run circles around you.
Only my phone is brave enough to do that to me.
That's right. That's right. Only my phone.
No, I'm pretty much the head of the household around here. I do like 95% of the work. So whenever anybody is like bold enough to complain, I don't even have to say anything. I just kind of look at them. I'm like, "Do you want to vacuum the damn floor? You got a problem with it?" Because that's the one thing that I totally slack on is vacuuming the floor, because I hate the sound of the vacuum. It's the most annoying thing to do in existence is vacuum the damn floors. But every so often, you know, somebody will be like, "Oh yeah, the next time you vacuum, I spilled my drink over there, so I put some baking soda on it. So, you know, don't forget over there by the corner of the desk, you might not be able to see it." And just mentioning something like that, I'm like, "You want to vacuum?" I get all defensive, you know. I'm like, "You vacuum. If it matters to you, you vacuum it up."
Oh
like,
yeah.
I do 95% of the work, so I don't even want to hear it. Whatever it is you've got to say, you be quiet.
Oh yeah.
Clean it yourself.
I was in bed all day yesterday. Everybody knew how much pain I was in yesterday and that I did not move. And it was about, I want to say it was like 7:30. People started roaming around and getting a little bit antsy and hungry. And I was like, "What's the matter?" "There's no plates." "Well, why is that?" "Well, because you didn't do the dishes." "That's right, I didn't do the dishes." I was dying. Someone else could have.
So you handled that so much better than me, because my response would have been, "Wash your own damn dishes."
Right.
I don't even hesitate to be like, "Go do it yourself." I don't have kids to whom that would just be, you know, I don't even know. I don't have kids. Nobody in the house is younger. than me, really. So like,
Yeah.
whenever I do that, everybody is like, yeah, you know, you got your own grown-up responsibilities.
Oh
I
yeah.
can imagine a mom, like you moms are always so nice to your kids. And I'm like, that's not how I would answer that question.
Oh,
I'll be nice to other people's kids, you know? Like,
no. My kids will tell you that I am not as nice as I appear to be. I mean,
I don't think anybody is, though.
yeah. I
I
keep
think
it
when we're all
real.
at home, we've all got our snaggle teeth out, whether we
Oh
mean
yeah.
to or not.
When they complain that there's no bowls, I just make like this little shape with my hands. I'm like, hey, God gave you a built-in bowl. Here you go.
Here's your ball.
You're gonna work for it.
It drives me insane. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's dishes. Or like they'll leave like food. So then I have to soak the dishes, and I'm just like, faucet on, faucet off. I think I'm gonna have to get one of those faucets that like turn on by the movement, but then I'm afraid like I know there's like gonna be a ghost move into my house and the faucet's gonna be coming on and off all night long. And then I have to get my sage out and be like, go away, I'm trying to sleep.
See, I would have to worry about that with the cat.
We have
Because
dogs.
Bagheera
and I
loves
call
to
them
drink
free
from the
wash
faucet
cycle.
if it's dripping, or the his favorite thing right now is to lay in the tub. And when the tub faucet drips, he's sitting there going.
Oh man, yeah.
We have dogs, and I call them the pre-wash cycle.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like everything goes to the dog before it even makes it into the sink.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You learn your lesson the hard way, not to just take a dish out of the sink and go with it.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't do that in my house if I were you.
I swear that Tala, she lives by the sink, and the reason why is because the sink and the stove are literally 3 feet apart because I have a galley kitchen, and so she sleeps right in between those two things, and I swear it's because something's always falling off the stove or out of the sink. and she's tall enough that if she gets on her hind legs, she can actually lick what's in the sink. Oh yeah. So it's very rare. It's very rare that I have to actually do the soaking, but she does not like ketchup. And I bought a box of corn dogs, and we have like some of the people in my house, they can't use just a little bit of ketchup, and then if they need more, go back and get it. So they have like a lake of ketchup where their corn dogs are drowning.
Yes.
And it drives me insane because I hate ketchup, and I'm like, look, if I have to, I'm like, if I have to smell the ketchup, the least you can do is rinse it off. Okay, just don't make me touch it. It's just gross. I can't handle it. I just can't. I love tomatoes, but ketchup drives me insane.
Our kitchen is in the corner of the house, and our dogs just aren't allowed in the kitchen. I'm always afraid I'm going to be like carrying a pot of boiling water or something and trip over a dog. So we don't let our dogs in the kitchen, but they try to use their X-ray vision to watch every plate that goes anywhere near the sink to see what they're missing out on exactly. And one of our dogs, I swear, is so smart that she can count, first of all. Like if she sees, you know, like you cook a little pork chop and so everybody gets 2. She knows there's 6 bones up there, and she won't stop until 6 bones get passed out.
Yep.
She will not relax. And I'm like, you didn't even see them. But I mean, that's dogs' noses, I guess. She's not picky about ketchup, though. She'll clean up anything that's on the plate.
Yeah.
Except for habanero juice, because we eat habaneros in this family. She's like, just the stink eye when we put the plate down. And, you know, like half it'll have habanero juice on it. Oh, the insult.
Oh, yeah.
The burn.
She's like, oh, and then especially if a dog gets a hold of a habanero, wait till it gets closer to the south end.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Outside.
Oh, no. I don't know. I spoil mine. Mine are like, even it was snowing here the other day. We got like 3 inches of snow, and they all came inside, and they're Malamutes, which was the most confusing thing because it started to snow and they were like knocking on the door. So we opened the dog door and they come running in and then they were watching it snow from the inside of the house. And I'm like, don't you guys want to go play in that?
You
so
missed
then,
a little.
and it was the weirdest thing because at 2:00 in the morning when the snow turned into ice, they're outside sloshing around like running in and out, in and out. They were like playing tag. So I had like icy mud and on the floor. I was like, this is not happening to me. They're the craziest dogs. So my kids give them everything. And so whenever I make curry, I have to be very careful not to put too many like chili seeds in the mix because the kids will end up giving it to the dog. And then Tala, who has zero shame whatsoever, will let it rip. She's she's like, oh, you're sleeping? Well, smell this, Mom. Like, she's like a terrorist. Yeah. But she loves me. And one of these days she's gonna like, I don't know, gas me out for the last time. And then who'll feed you? Who will feed you then, Tala? She's like, your husband will feed me. Someone will drop something. She's laying on the floor next to me. She like gives zero cares right now.
Nicole mentioned that she has a dishwasher and no one could put dishes inside the dishwasher. And I'm like, well, you're lucky enough to have one of those.
Oh, yeah. You know, but even I have a dishwasher and my kids used to tell me all the time, well, we don't know if they're clean or if they're dirty. And I'm like, okay, legitimate.
Look.
Yeah, I'm like, that's a legitimate. No, because when I do them, like I wash them all. I grew up in the era where you washed every single dish and then put it in the dishwasher. And I never could understand why we had to do that. And then like my stepdad was like, oh, the dishwasher sanitizes them. And I'm like, I thought that's what soap was for, but whatever. Apparently, you know, my logic was illogical, but so now I have like, I do the dishes and then I put them in the dishwasher to sanitize them. So the kids were like, well, we don't know if they're clean or dirty because you did such a great job. And I'm like, oh, thanks for the compliment, you lazy slacker. So I got one of those magnets where on one side it says, sorry, we're dirty. And the other side says we're clean. And they still can't. I mean, they have no problem unloading the dishwasher one dish at a time as they're using them. But I'm like, you guys just unload the dishwasher. And when you got a dirty dish or whatever, just put it in there. It's like until they have spouses and children of their own, they will not appreciate the suffering they have put me through all of these years. And when that moment comes, I'm going to go over to their house and eat off of every single dish.
Oh, yeah.
One at a time and just stack them up. So, but, oh well. Anyway, I've got to get going. My daughter she's either got strep or a sinus infection, and she is now got a fever, and she's like, please, Mom, I'm dying. So I'm going to take her into urgent care and get her checked out, and I can't let her suffer anymore.
Oh, yeah, you know. I got to get going too because I got to go get my girls from the bus stop soon.
Yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, it's 1:00. Holy cow, where's the day gone?
This is why I try to keep them under an hour, and now we're sitting at 2.5. Well, actually, I think it's been over 2 hours now.
Yeah, but we're having fun. It's all good. Fun. So, all right, well, awesome. Well, if you are doing it tomorrow and I don't have anything going on, I'll definitely be on here. We can chit chat again.
Yep. And anyone who wants to join on camera is welcome to. Just shoot me a message or comment on one of my past posts. We'll be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And I'm not going to do time zone stuff. Sorry. I can't math right now.
Right. So it's 12 Central. So it would be 11 in Arizona. Okay. I got it. I'll make sure that I got it right.
All right. So, but anyone's welcome to join. We'll be doing 3 15-minute sprints again tomorrow. And hopefully we won't run as long as we did today. Though it's been fun. Right. I will not lie. It's been fun. So, yep. If everyone wants to close out real quick and remind everyone who you are and where we can find you and if we can find you.
Yeah, if that's me. I don't have any social media. I don't use it. My name is Amy Nobody, and I've been joining Sky for her write-ins because I'm working on my first fiction book. And yeah, that's pretty much the extent of my sign off. That's all I gotta say.
Dana.
All right, awesome. Well, my name's Dana Gollin, and I have a YouTube channel called Dana Gollin Writes, and I've got a book available on Amazon called The Awakening, and you can go to my website called danagollinwrites.com and find all of my good social stuff there.
And I'll add your links below when we finish. I'll add your links below because I usually do that and I didn't today. I forgot.
Oh, well, I was late. You know, if I actually had my ducks in a row.
No one has their ducks in a row.
Right? It's Monday.
It is. And I am Sky. I write urban fantasy under the name SD Haggis. All my social media links are below, and you'll be finding us here again tomorrow. So until next time, everyone. Bye.
Bye.